Hey guys, so welcome to my first YouTube video in a long time. I don't make a lot of YouTube videos, and I think I go over this like every time that I make a YouTube video because people do ask me to make them. I say I'm gonna make them, and then it like falls on the back burner because I have so many other things that I need and have to do, which is kind of no excuse, but still making videos sometimes stresses me out a little bit. But because I've been asked so many times, I really want to do it, and it's not that I don't like doing it. I really do like doing it. I just, I think everybody at some point feels like, we have all this information. We all are experts somewhere, right? And then we feel like, is what I have to offer really good enough to put out there? Or is what I have to say, does anybody actually give a shit? And this is kind of spawned from a conversation I had with a fellow personal trainer yesterday about like, who actually cares? Like, if I want to put the information out there, great. If somebody wants to listen to it, great. If somebody hates it, great. Like, whatever, I'm just going to do it because it's kind of what I want to do. So, the first YouTube video I'd like to make when coming back to the whole YouTube world is about relationship advice, and more so just kind of what I've dealt with, what I think makes a positive relationship, and just my advice to you. And it doesn't mean it's the right or the wrong thing. Okay, I always like to say that because some people are like, well, that's not true. It's like, well, it's true in my world, so it's all that matters. And I did make a post about this, and I had a lot of people vote on it, and they said, yes, I'd love to hear about, what you have to offer in the relationship department, because especially at our age, I'm 25, you're either married with children or you are convinced that you're going to be single for the rest of your life, okay? And about 8 months ago, that's kind of where I was. I was pretty sure I was going to be single forever and have a bunch of wiener dogs, and that was it. So, and excuse me as I'm going to drink my coffee through this because I can't live without it. Isn't this the cutest thing? It's a little unicorn. I think my best friend Leanna got this for me. I'm going to be totally honest. I have 4 different unicorn mugs. I collect mugs, and this is by far the coolest one. So I just don't really remember, but I'm pretty sure she got it for me because it's the coolest one. So when it comes to relationships, okay, there are good ones, there's bad ones, there's ones that we try to make work, there's toxic ones, and it's just like, it all comes down to me the same few concepts, okay? And of course, this doesn't apply, you never need to try to make it work in a domestic violence situation, okay? This is a whole different spectrum. I'm talking about like, good relationships, good communication, and trying to make things work, and more importantly, trying to see things from your partner's point of view, because in my experience and in my opinion, that is the most important thing, is trying to address something from somebody else's point of view, because you can see your point of view and you see it all in your head and it's kind of what's consuming you, but did you ever stop to think, wow, okay, where are they coming from? So instead of popping off and getting mad, okay, they make a valid point. Maybe I don't agree with it, but inside they feel like they're right and their opinion's valid, and their opinion always is going to be valid because you guys are one, you are a relationship. You have to work together. You can't have separate opinions on absolutely everything and hate each other every time you disagree. You have to come together and communicate. So first off, communication, okay? It is the most important thing in a relationship to have communication and trust. Foundation. And I would say communication is the biggest foundation, because more often than not, relationships don't work out because people don't communicate with one another. Guys, talk to each other. You live with each other. Chances are you have kids with each other. You're married. Fucking communicate. Like, Jesus. Just communicate with each other. For example, my boyfriend comes home from work, okay? He's had a long day. Maybe I don't thoroughly understand his long day. He works in construction. He has a job where it requires him to do a lot of physical labor, okay? He comes home and talks about things that maybe I don't thoroughly understand, like my sub didn't show up today. Well, to me, like my sub, I'm thinking sub sandwich, okay, this is what makes sense to me. But to him, his sub is the person that's supposed to do the work on his job, didn't show up. This is a big deal. It's a really big deal in his world and in his job and in his life. And in turn, it's a big deal in my life. Because although I don't thoroughly understand the dynamics of everything that he does, what's going on in his life is affecting him, making him feel a certain way, and that is concerning to me. And that's the communication I'm talking about. We sit down every single night, regardless who gets off work at what time, and we talk about work. Okay, he asks me how my day is, I ask him how his day is. Of course, when it comes to my job, he doesn't thoroughly understand everything I talk about, but he's there to support me every step of the way and make sure that I feel cared for when I'm feeling some type of way. Okay, so communication, guys. Talk to each other, care about each other's days. Yes, you know, you don't understand when I come home and I'm flipping out because table 12 was yelling at me over something I couldn't control. He doesn't get it, but he's still there to care about me, and he's cared about how I feel and still talks me through it. And like, you know, ultimately at the end of the night, I feel better about it, okay? Communication. Second, trust, loyalty. I can't even, oh God. This is, to me, this hits really close to home, because if you guys have been following me for the better part of a few years, you understand that I've dealt with this whole issue with the whole loyalty business. And this is a make it or break it in my book. You're either loyal or you're not. There is lines, and you don't cross those lines. There's no gray lines. We all are adults, and we know what's okay and what's not okay. Of course, there are always going to be people that we are all attracted to, okay? Of course, you know, I love my boyfriend to death. Without a doubt, you know, there are other people that I am going to be attracted to. That doesn't mean I'm going to act on anything, okay? It doesn't matter. There's no jealousy that goes on. There's no weird shit that goes on. It's just like, okay, that person's attractive, but you know, the love of my life's at home and he's fucking hot as hell anyway. Why do, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have everything. And if you want to have everything, don't be in a relationship. Like, that's totally cool. You don't have to be monogamous. You don't have to be with one person, but don't commit to one person who's committed to you and then go screw around behind their back, because that's not how that works, okay? So just be loyal. Talk to your partner. Don't cheat on your partner. You know, if you're not happy with something, maybe try communicating first. Okay, let's take it back to step one. Communicate. What's bothering you? Why do you feel like you need to go find something somewhere else? Because evidently your relationship is not providing you with what you need. If you're feeling like you need something else from somewhere else, maybe that relationship isn't for you to start with, okay? Another thing when it comes to relationships, guys, it is just so important to have empathy and care for one another, and just care for how they feel. And this isn't a comparison game. I see so many couples, like it upsets me, because we're not comparing my job and your job, okay? Yes, my boyfriend's job is first of all, I don't want to say more important, but because, you know, of course, I'm a personal trainer, I do my business online, and that's a separate entity, but I'm talking about, I do serve tables too part-time. So I'm talking about serving tables. When it comes to serving tables, his job of building buildings and making sure that people are safe is probably, you know, in the scheme of this world, is more important than the fish and chips that I serve to my table at night, okay? One thing is protecting somebody's life, and one thing is, like, I'm feeding them one night, and if they don't like it, like, okay, like, they don't like it. It isn't affecting their health. So, yes, his job is more important, but he never makes me feel that way. He never comes home and is like, all you do is serve tables. And it's like, he makes me feel like, which he should, my job is very important, and in relation to everything else, it's very important to me. It pays my bills. It's important. And it isn't like, oh, well, you know, I carried all this today and I did all this and all you did was do that. It's like, that if you ever say anything like that to your partner, if you ever compare yourself, it's just never going to work out, and you have a character flaw that maybe you need to address personally, because we don't compare things. We bring each other up, and we are working together, and we are a team. Teams are so important. So we're a team, and we're working together in every aspect of our lives in order to get to where we want to be and build the future that we want to have together, okay? What's so hard about that? We're bringing each other up. He comes home, and he's cashed completely, okay? I know we had a rough day. Well, I'm gonna go over and above, and while he's showering, you know, I'm gonna do nice things, you know, like maybe I'll make him dinner, and maybe I'll put the TV on what he wants to watch, or put his video game on so he can kind of get out of his own head and play a little bit of his video game when he gets home. And these are little tiny things that take almost no time, but to him that makes his day and his life so much easier, and that's what I want to do. I want to be there to support him, and that is the key and the foundation to all relationships, is giving an actual shit about the other person and how they feel. Yes, you may love them, but if you're not spending your time caring and bringing them up, and, you know, just spending your time with them, what's the purpose of being with one another if you're not trying to build this future together? So that's just a really simple basis of a little bit of advice that I have for you guys in regards to the relationship department. We all struggle with it, and no doubt there are hard days. And this was kind of brought up by somebody asking me, hey, like, how are you always in such an awesome relationship? Like, love is hard, and how are you doing it and I can't do it? And maybe what you guys, I keep my personal life very personal, okay? I don't share a whole lot of my personal life on social media because, you know, my love life is my love life, and the way to keep it mine is to kind of, you know, I don't need to tell everybody about my problems. But no doubt we have little tiny arguments. No, we've never had a blowout fight because we communicate. There's been times when I've thoroughly disagreed and I'm like, hey dude, like, this isn't cool. Can you not do that again? And then we'll talk about it, we'll figure out what the dealio is, and then it's cool from there, and he'll respect how I feel, and chances are he's not gonna do that again. And same thing goes for me. There's been times where he's like, hey babe, like, can you not put the wrappers in the cup? When I finish a protein bar and I take the wrapper and I put it in a cup with liquid in it, it grinds his gears. It's just something he hates, and I don't really thoroughly know why, but maybe it's like the server in me that immediately sticks something in a cup, but he hates it, so I don't do it anymore. I mean, it's that simple. I don't have to do it. It irks him. Why would I keep doing it? Like, it's not, this isn't a make or break thing in my book. So be easy to mend, be easy to be with one another, and just make sacrifices. Because love is about sacrifices, and it's not just about what you want and what he wants, or what she wants and what she wants. It doesn't matter, okay? It's all about sacrifices. It's all about making your loved one happy and making it work, because you are still two different humans, and even though you are together in this relationship, there is bound to be bumps in the road. So just communicate and be loyal and care for them. And if you're, you know, not feeling it, or you've outgrown that relationship, be man enough or be woman enough to stand up and tell that person and move on, and don't keep them as like this side piece while you're trying to find something else because you're afraid to be alone, because that's not cool too. So, not that I've ever dealt with that or anything. It's just, keep your person number one, guys, and make sure that they are number one in your book, okay? Two people that should be number one in your book are you and your significant other, and those are the only two people. You need to put yourself first as well, and remember that self-love and self-care is very important, and that is also a key to a relationship success, is that you have to be happy with yourself, okay? And the meme that you see that goes around that says you can't love anybody until you love yourself, that's the damn truth, okay? You can never be happy with somebody else if you were eternally very unhappy with yourself. So find that self-love, find the communication, make sure you're staying loyal, and man up if you're not about it anymore. It's cool. Woman up if you're not about it anymore, because this street goes both ways, okay? It's not just women that mess up, and it's not just men that mess up. Everybody messes up, okay? So just try to stay on that straight and narrow path and be a good partner, love each other, communicate, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!